first-time home buyers have an effed up road ahead of them. Like you thought the last 3 years were tough. This next period of time comes with uncertainty and volatility. And that's what I want to talk about today. Because even though I know it's going to be challenging, I also know that there are options. So I want to end the program today with 3 loan options that are creative and open up doors and give first-time home buyers access. But I want to first talk about the real struggle and say that if now is not the right time for you to buy, it's not the right time for you to buy. No one can pressure you into that. And if you as an adult are asking someone else, should I buy now? Then maybe it's not the right time. And I don't say that from a judgment perspective. I say that from a perspective of we all have to own our financial wealth or our financial well-being and our financial health. We have to own where we are today and what we're trying to achieve. No one else can tell you what to do. But I want to impart some numbers. I want to share because this is God, this market is nuts. It is absolutely crazy. But these are the kind of markets that open up doors and opportunities for those people who have the stomach for it, right? So here's some of the numbers. So I actually have a study that I'm going to link in the comments below that talked about the fact that sellers, 90% of them do not want to spend their time, money, or energy fixing up a home, doing the remodeling that it would take to get top dollar. 90% of them don't want to do it. Now, whether or not some of them do it, that's another survey. 90% of them don't want to. 77% of buyers said they won't even look at something that's not completely done. Like they want that walk in, I don't have to spend a dime fixing it up, right? So we've got an interesting market where we literally have under 2 months of inventory, around 1.8 months of inventory, yet the buyers are like, I'm not feeling the pressure. Like I don't want to do this, right? Especially since home prices are already high and interest rates are high. It has to be done for me to move in. We have more inventory. In fact, we have 66% more inventory than we had in January. So it's an interesting look back. I went back to DMAR's market trends reports every single month since January to this last one. We started out in January, just over 4,100 active inventory on the last day of the month. You could say that it's not 100% accurate because homes are sold and bought during the same 30 days. And I could go on for a while on the basis of that number, but it's a comparative number and it's the same every single month. So the last day of the month, what is the active inventory? So the last day we were looking at just over 4,100 homes. Today we have 6,858. That was on the last day of last month of August, right? And the report is about to be generated again. So that's a massive jump. And I went back and looked and we actually dropped from 4,100, 4,120 to be exact, down in February and then recovered and have been increasing ever since. In fact, seasonally, we should start pulling back, but we've been going up every single month, giving buyers this opportunity. And we've talked about this, where the first week of October is the best time to purchase a home because as a buyer, you have more inventory to choose from. And that inventory that's not 100% spot on is sitting on the market longer. Now that inventory that is spot on is going in the same weekend for over asking. So knowing what you're looking for and knowing how you want to go in and negotiate. There are 26% less buyers per mortgage purchase applications than there were last year. That week over week number varies slightly. It's 28%, 27%, 26% as of this last week. That's a massive reduction in the competition that you have as a buyer. Yet the psychology of it, I want to show you some numbers on renting versus buying. The psychology of it says I should keep renting because this market is effed up. Like I'm not getting in, right? Because the bubble is going to burst. There's so much inventory on, but we know seasonally we're going to bottom back out again in January, right? It feels like something's going to happen. But we're talking about record low inventory, historically low inventory. That even if I say a number like it's 66% more than it was at the beginning of the year, what does it even mean? A $2,000 fluctuation? I mean, we're talking about incredibly low inventory, and you think about the numbers of people who have locked in interest rates under 6%, under 5%, and under 4%. Those homeowners are not going to be selling readily. Now we expect that when interest rates drop down to 5.5, we'll see more sellers who will be buyers and they'll put more activity in the market. But even still, there's going to be those homeowners that just convert those properties to rentals. And I say this because you as a first-time home buyer have to know that the inventory is not going to open up for you. So when I say that this market and the road ahead is effed up, it's because we had these series of events that happened over the last 3 years that I got scared, I got priced out, and I sat and waited for something to happen only to realize that the road in front of me has its own different set of challenges. When rates do drop back, we're not going to see a massive push of inventory. Some of those sellers who've been sitting on the sidelines will obviously sell, and there will always be sellers due to divorce, due to marriage, due to a baby born, due to a job transfer, right? But the massive swell of inventory is not going to happen. But what you will have is a massive swell of demand, pushing up competition, pushing up multiple bids, and pushing up home prices further because they're not dropping, they're actually staying strong due to limited inventory. If I look at your options today, buying versus selling, the median rent for a 2-bedroom place rental here in the Denver market is $2,850. So if we're looking at the median rent of $2,850 here in the Denver market, compared to, let's look at a median price point. So let's go like $550. So I could buy a $550,000 home. Let's actually say it's a 3-bedroom. And I could buy it for $550, or I could rent it for $2,850. Those are my options. That purchase with 10% down will cost me about $4,000 a month, all in. PITIMI. $4,000 a month. This one, $2,850. Why? Why am I going to buy? Why are you going to buy? You're a first-time home buyer. You're looking at this going, I got to be an idiot. Because I could save over $1,000, $1,150 every single month just to keep renting. And in fact, I've got to have that rent increase by about 5% a year for it to actually overtake the mortgage payment in the next 7 to 9 years. 7 to 9 years. I know I actually said that out loud. I love home ownership. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about you as a first-time home buyer. If you have the stomach to purchase, you've got an incredible opportunity right now. But I'm going to tell you, if it's not the right time for you to buy, it is not the right time for you to buy. But if you have the stomach for it in this market, knowing home prices are going to continue to go up due to lack of inventory and really go up when interest rates go down, you're looking at this and going, I got to see a bigger picture, because just on the front end of it, it doesn't make sense to me to buy. If I take the amortization, the tax benefits, and the appreciation over those same 9 years, and I could do this at 5 years, 7 years, 9 years, 20 years, but I just picked 9. If I take those numbers, your appreciation on that $550,000 home, you're going to gain $300,000 in appreciation. You're going to have tax benefits of $22,000. You're going to have principal reduction of $60,000. But meanwhile, you chose to pay rent for $2,850, which went up at 2, 3, 4, 5% a year, and you had nothing to show for it. And you'd be lucky to get your security deposit back. But over those same 9 years, you gained $382,000 in net worth. And that appreciation continues to get stronger, because remember, it's that home price that continues to appreciate. That's the power of leverage. And after 20 years, you're talking about over $1 million. I mean, it just continues to grow. And people go, well, it can't grow that big. I'm seeing it. I'm talking to people, their house prices have doubled in the last 7 years. The opportunity for real estate isn't short term, it's long term. Plus, it's all the other things that are non-financial. You as a first-time home buyer have the hardest decision to make probably ever. But I'm going to try and make it a little bit easier. So here's where I'm going to land. Here are 3 loan products that can help you get to the finish line a little creatively and think abundantly. All right, the first one, we have a lock and shop program where you can lock in rates. If we think interest rates are going to continue to go up, then we can lock you in and you can have 75 days to find the home and another 45 days to close. That gives you a 120-day lock, and you can even do a float down. That is an option. We also have renovation loans, and we're doing a lot of them. So what if you find that $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 home, and if you put $100,000 into it, it would not double in value, it would be worth $200,000 more. In fact, the house we just bought my son, we bought it for $510,000, and if we put $100,000 into it based on the math and based on the comps, it would be worth $700,000. And with a renovation loan, you can roll all that in, putting as little as 3 to 5% down. 3, 5, can't work my fingers. % down, based on the after repair value, rolling in those costs, plus a contingency. Have you talked to us about a renovation loan option? Have you thought about whether or not you're willing to take on that opportunity? Because remember, if 90% of sellers don't want to spend the time to fix up their home, then you have an opportunity to get in right now. Spend your holidays fixing up your home. Make it a forever home, right? The third one, down payment assistance. It surprises me that not everybody already knows about this. But you could come to the table with as little as no money down and only do your closing costs. And a lot of opportunities, we're getting sellers to pay closing costs. So you're actually getting your earnest money back at closing. Depending on the program we do, you might have to be all in $1,000. And with some of the down payment assistance programs, you can actually have a non-occupant co-borrower. They're both for conventional VA and FHA. Do you know your options? And here's the bonus. Credit repair. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac raised their credit scores to a 760 is top tier. Do you have a 760, 780, 800 credit score? Great, you're top tier. But do you have a 720? You thought you were good, you were in the 700s? Your interest rate's going to be higher. Can we get that better for you? And I'm paying for it. I'm paying for your credit repair because I so believe in making this effed up road ahead of you easier, because your opportunities are down the road. They're down that road. They're down that road that seems more challenging than ever. And even if you decide that now is not the right time, because if you don't think it is, it isn't, then are you planning for tomorrow? Are you putting everything in line to get the best interest rate, the most affordability, to create the most income opportunities, to bundle up your debts, to pay off what needs to be paid off, to take advantage of the student loan, new save program, all the things that we talk to every client about? I can't express more deeply how passionate I am to help you get into a home. Because as hard as that road seems, there is no better stability and security for the rest of your life. Nicole Rueth with the Rueth team. You guys have a fantastic rest of your day.